What's good, everybody? Today, we are going to talk about if a James Harden trade goes down, should the Washington Wizards be a third team to acquire picks or young assets? And there's a few teams we're going to look at, such as the Clippers, the Heat, and the Knicks. But we're going to talk about that next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's really good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50 plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com. That's JASE Medical.com. So today we're going to talk about, I know you guys have heard a lot about a potential James Harden trade, but if one goes down, should the Washington Wizards be that third team? And we're going to look at 3 teams that are potential destinations for James Harden: the Los Angeles Clippers, the New York Knicks, and the Miami Heat. So we're going to dive right into it. And looking at the LA Clippers, now obviously James Harden is from the LA area, and that is his number one destination. But right now, the Philadelphia 76ers are playing hardball with him, saying that they expect him to be in camp. But if the pressure gets on and they have to make that move, we're going to look at the Clippers move and what potential assets the Washington Wizards would want. So what do you think, E? If James Harden gets flipped to the Clippers, what assets, looking at their depth chart and maybe picks, what assets do you see the Wizards trying to get if they indeed are that third team in a James Harden trade?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to offload. We got a couple guys that we could definitely offload, as far as like Shamet and Tyus Jones, DeLon Wright, Gallinari, Mike Muscala. Maybe we could get a couple picks. We've got a whole bunch of second-round picks, but we could load on some more. You could attach those to different trades. You see second-round picks still do have value. Obi Toppin got traded for a couple second-round picks. There were a couple decent young players. Kenyon Martin Jr., who is on the Clippers at the moment right now. He got traded for a couple second-round picks. But I like his talent. He's super athletic. Bones Highland is a guy that I like coming out of the draft. Sometimes his shot selection is questionable, but he's a guy that's really shifty, that can get to the basket very easily at any time he wants. Isolation guy that can break your ankles and one mixtape tour kind of moves. So I really like watching Bones Highland play as a 6-man or coming off the bench. Terrence Mann is a guy that's carved out a really good career coming off the bench as well for the Clippers. So far, he had a good playoff series. He's done really, really well in his career. And if they're going to attach picks to players like Robert Covington, you take on a contract like that. So there's a couple of assets that the Clippers certainly have at this point that would be intriguing to add to the roster. But if any team would take Tyus, and we almost had a 3-team deal with Porzingis to the Clippers, where we almost got a first-round pick from the Clippers as well, but that deal fell through because of injury concerns to Michael Brogdon. But James Harden, he said Daryl Morey is a liar, so he doesn't want to be there. So he's going to force a trade. We know Damian Lillard wants to get traded as well, and there's been talks of Gallinari being added to the deal for Damian Lillard, and Shamet, the Heat having interest in Landry Shamet to add a third team. The Wizards would be that third team, or another team added to the deal. So there's certainly a lot of opportunities out there for us to sneak in there and attach ourselves to a deal to get some assets for some of the guys that we know that are not going to be here in the long-term future for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And then you brought up a key name, man, I've been looking at for any potential deal with the LA Clippers. Definitely Robert Covington. I can see them attaching a first-round pick to offload his contract. I definitely can see that, man. Looking at other names, if I'm trying to get a kind of a bad contract and a young guy, you already named it, Bones Highland, local cat. Shot selection, a little questionable sometimes, but he's definitely an intriguing young player. Looking at it, Kenyon Martin Jr. again, definitely a big fan of him. But a couple of bad contracts or expiring deals that you need to look at that they could potentially throw a first-round pick or some seconds on. Marcus Morris Sr., we almost acquired him, and I believe Amir Coffey before. So those are a couple names to kind of look for. So, who we would have to give up. Looking at their point guard situation, I mean, right now it's Russ. Terrence Mann is the backup, but I know Terrence Mann can play the 2 guard also. But then you got Norman Powell. So, maybe Tyus, but Gallinari, I think, would be the biggest fit. I think he could, between him and Batum, at his stage in his career right now, Batum's not the guy. I think Gallinari could definitely come in and start for them. So those are a couple names. But there's a lot of intriguing names on there, man. Like I said, if I'm the GM, I'm definitely going to call about Bones Highland and Kenyon Martin Jr. But I know that if you have the opportunity to maybe get a first-round pick attached to taking on Marcus Morris Sr. or Robert Covington, I am definitely going to entertain that. So we're going to slide into the next team real quick, the Knicks. Now, the New York Knicks, another big market team for James Harden. Now, real quick, looking at their depth chart real quick. As you know, Jalen Brunson is the starting point guard, backed up by Emmanuel Quickly, but Quickly can't play the 2 guard, but that's where they got Quentin Grimes projected to be. Then, obviously small forward, you got RJ Barrett, power forward Julius Randle, and at center, Mitchell Robinson. But they have intriguing pieces on the bench that could kind of entice the Wizards. So looking at the New York Knicks real quick, same thing with the Clippers. What assets do you think we would have to give up? And what assets do you really think would be attractive for the Wizards in the third team in a James Harden trade to the Knicks?
Well, yeah, and looking at the Clippers too, the Clippers don't have a lot of first-round picks because they traded for Paul George in that trade. They traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and a bunch of picks, an abundance of picks for Paul George. So they don't have a lot of future draft capital. The closest first-round pick, I'm looking at it right now for the Clippers, is 2027. They don't have a 2024 first-rounder. They don't have a 2025. They don't have a 2026. They have a 2027 first and a 2028 and a 2029 first. So those are their future assets, and they're going to be good for the next couple of years. So whatever pick we get from them, even if it is a second-round pick, it's going to be a late pick. So I just wanted to put that out there. But as far as the Knicks and their assets, guys that I see them giving up on, they like a lot of their young guys. So a lot of their young guys they're going to keep. As far as like RJ Barrett, they're not trading him. Quentin Grimes, I think he's off limits. Quickly is off limits as well. I would love to get a male quickly, but I think he's off limits as well. They just picked up Dante DiVincenzo from Villanova. I don't see them trading him as well. So they just don't have a lot of young assets that I think they're going to part ways with. But as far as picks, they own the rights to our pick. Actually, they still have Evan Fournier on the roster, so they could probably potentially move him to move a bad contract, and we just take back our first-round pick so the protections aren't on there anymore. That's certainly a possibility. But, Shamet, DeLon Wright, guys like that, Muscala, Gallinari, all those guys would certainly be on the trade block. Tyus Jones, I feel like they've had interest in bringing him in, but they got Jalen Brunson. So there's an abundance of guys that we have on our roster that are certainly going to be on the trade block at the trade deadline to bring in guys. But I think the Knicks are going to try to hang on to their guys. I don't see them really moving any guys on their roster. I mean, possibly for James Harden, but I don't see them making a lot of moves at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think out of these 3 teams, man, they're the least likely one.
Yeah, it's right.
I don't
the Clippers.
Yeah, I don't see, because the Knicks are pretty much set. I mean, Tyus Jones, is he an upgrade over Jalen Brunson? I don't think so. I mean, Emmanuel Quickly, looking at the power forward, could Gallinari come in and back up Julius Randle? I mean, how much do they believe in Isaiah Roby? I mean, they're pretty set in their roster, man. So I just don't see it. Like you said, Evan Fournier in our pick, I would be interested, but that's the only thing, man. That's the only move I could really look at as far as the Knicks, man. So I think they hang up. I think we hang up. I think it's not even a conversation, to be honest with you. So, I guess we'll go ahead and slide into the Miami Heat. We'll look at their assets real quick, and then we'll talk about that. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by the Jase case. Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why the Jase Medical offers the Jase case. The Jase case provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use and gives you a peace of mind so that you're not just hoping that you have access to medication or an emergency room. Jase Medical makes sure that you have the medication in hand. Jase Medical is simple. They handle everything from the online evaluation to licensed pharmacy, medication delivery, and ongoing consultation and care. Don't get caught up unprepared. So I definitely recommend it, y'all. Definitely, things happen. Emergencies happen, natural disasters happen. So I would definitely entertain it. Definitely check it out. It's definitely worth the money. You can save more than $360 by giving these life-saving antibiotics with Jase Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using code Locked On at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. Promo code Locked On. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Every day is tomorrow. We are going to do a mailbag episode. So send us your best questions, and we are going to do our best to answer them for you guys. So definitely check that episode out. So real quick, we're going to look at a third team. A third team that was mentioned as a potential destination for James Harden is the Miami Heat, which their name has been involved with not only him, but with the Portland Trail Blazers star player. So they make a move for James Harden. What assets do you see could be attractive to the Wizards to be a third team, if any? And what players do you think we will have to give up?
Yeah, the Heat are so stingy. I mean, I remember even with Brad Bill, like they were like, "Oh, we're not going to give up Nikola Jovic. We're not even going to give up Haywood Highsmith." So
Yeah.
Pat Riley is just really, really tough on trades. They're even trying to be kind of tough or kind of sticklers with giving up guys for Damian Lillard. They're going to have to give up Tyler Hero for Damian Lillard. They would have to give up Tyler Hero if they made a trade for James Harden as well. So Duncan Robinson, you take on a bad contract. I'm not really looking for him at all. The only guys I'm really looking for from the Heat that would be realistic is probably Nikola Jovic. And I like Caleb Martin a lot, but they're probably not going to part ways with him. Jaime Jaquez, their rookie, he looked good in the summer league, but they're probably not going to part ways with him for any of the guys that we got. But it just depends on what gets shipped out. I do think that I think the Damian Lillard trade would be more of an advantage for us to get stuff because I just feel like it could be the same, but I know the reports keep coming out that they're interested in Shamet and Gallinari. So there is an opportunity for us to actually get something. But I would really, really try my best to get Jovic. But I just don't think they're going to give him up. To get a 6'11" guy that played really well in FIBA. He had some good games in FIBA. He had, he was inconsistent, but he had some good games in FIBA where he's very impactful. He's a 6'11" guy that can put the ball on the floor, shoot the ball a little bit, has good touch, good feel, can pass the ball, can finish above the rim, finish around the rim. So just has to get stronger. But that's the one guy I would certainly keep my eyes on. But it's more wishful thinking than actual things that would happen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And their draft assets, got to look at their draft assets for the future. I'll pull that. But yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I just don't see this being a likely move because, look, Pat Riley, man. I mean, he's not trying to trade anybody. Looking at the roster, like you said, Nikola Jovic, man, I would definitely entertain that deal, man. I like him as a player. But Duncan Robinson, I'm very hesitant. Even with a pick, I'm hesitant to make that move, man, because I don't like overpaying for shooters, man. And he's just a shooter. He really doesn't do much else on the court. So I just hold on to that contract. And that's what kind of makes me leery about what's his name in the Knicks, man, Fournier, man. Because yeah, he can score, but he's just I don't want that contract on the books. We're trying to get these contracts off the books, man, and we have enough, so I don't want to see that move. So yeah, looking at the roster, man, I just don't see much that really entices me. Now, looking at power forward, Gallinari, is he an upgrade over Haywood Highsmith as far as backing up Kevin Love? Maybe. Maybe Muscala for depth behind Bam Adebayo and Thomas Bryant. But again, I just don't see this as a likely move. I think that if James Harden gets moved, which I personally don't think he's going to get moved, but if he does get moved, I think that going home to LA is the best case scenario. Because the Knicks and the Miami Heat, they both are kind of set. With the Knicks, they're set in their lineup. With the Miami Heat, they're set in their ways. They make it tough to make moves, man. And, you best believe you're going to have to give up Tyler Hero. But, so, I mean, are they willing to do that? Josh Richardson, maybe that's somebody you take back. But, yeah, I'm pretty set on it, man. I just don't see it happening. Miami and New York, to me, are just not good options for us to be a third team. And there's not good options for a trade for James Harden. I just don't see it. LA is definitely the best case scenario. So what do you think, real quick, as far as the best? You think the Clippers deal is pretty much the best one?
I think the Clippers have good assets if a deal did go through. I think Jovic. Now looking at the Miami Heat too, they do have future first round picks. We don't have really guys worthy for any first round picks that we would give up. They do have a 2024 first round pick. They have a 2026, 2027 as well. So they do have more picks to give up. But yeah, I think most realistic would probably be the Clippers, and the Clippers we were in talks to make a trade, so maybe they could revisit some of the stuff that they were looking to give up, and maybe a couple of second round picks and Terrence Mann.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Island.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't see it happening. I think that eventually him and Daryl Morey are going to sit down and hash this thing out, because the best case scenario for him to win a title, I think, is in Philadelphia. So I think that he's going to stay in Philly. But we're going to go ahead and move on. We got a funny question from a mailbag for you guys, but before we answer that question about baddies and the DMV, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers for FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Good God. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use and you bet on anything from spreads to player props to parlays, anything. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer that you won't want to miss. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. So real quick before we bounce, we got a mailbag question. This is I had a couple this morning because it's funny, man. And this is coming from this is from YouTube. I watch her on YouTube, and it's at Coming for Everything This Time. And he says, people say that Jordan Poole only goes off when he sees a baddie courtside. If this myth is true, should the Wizards host auditions for baddies to see who will become the official courtside baddie for the Washington Wizards? So, what do you think, Ian?
I mean, you already got the cheerleaders. I'm gonna tread this lightly because I am a married man, so I'm not gonna comment too much about this. But yeah, I mean, you can send some celebrities in there for sure in DC, and you know, you gotta, you know, it's Chocolate City, so there's definitely you know, some attractive people in there. Like I said, I'm gonna tread this lightly because I am a married man, but but you know, we know Rose Bar and all the places to be for sure. So it's not too far from Capital One. So we know some of the ladies that would be in there may be at the game, and there may be some celebrities and whatnot at the game as well. So, but I think Jordan will play well anyway. It doesn't matter who's there or not. You know, I think he's going to have a good game, and that is just it's a running joke that is funny, but it is true at the same time, as we saw some games in the playoffs and in the finals where he played really well in front of some ladies and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just something to chuckle about. Andre Iguodala brought it up too, so it is a running Twitter joke. But I think he's going to play really well at home. I think he's going to average about 25 to 30 points at home for sure.
I'm with you, my brother. Look, I am a happily married man, and the only baddie I see is my wife.
Right, there you go.
And look, she ain't gonna sit courtside. I'm saying. So that's it, man. Yeah, it's a joke. It's funny. You know, you see that in Golden State, you know, with the chicks on the sideline, and it's a meme and all that. But I'll say this, man. I'd prefer that they brought none but ugly chicks to Capital One. I want his mind on the game. You know, I don't want him trying to shoot jump shots for baddies and all that, man. Look, you know, I want
stay focused.
Stay focused, man. You know, focus on, the task at hand, man. You know, it's funny. That's why I wanted to talk about it real quick, because, you always see the memes and all that, man. But I want to see him focused, man. You know, like I said, I can't comment on the quality of women in the DMV. Like I said, the only woman I see is my wife. That's it. Right. But saying that, focus on the court, bro. You know, don't worry about what's going on off the court. Worry about the court, man. And you'll be all right. So, and then we're going to go ahead and leave on that. So definitely appreciate everybody. Definitely like, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think, because I'm definitely waiting to see some of the comments on this one. So wherever you get your podcast, 5-star review is much, much appreciated. So again, see you guys next time. Appreciate everybody. Hail to the Wizards and peace. Everybody have a good night.